If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my beard, if you want to tell me you love my videos, the best way to do it is on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, Nipsey Hussle is under investigation by the LAPD, even though he passed. And Lil Baby admitted that he paid Gunna to write for him. Plus, Snoop Dogg talks Suge Knight. Let's talk hip-hop. Alright, yo, so this situation is crazy, right? Now, we all know that, Nipsey Hussle passed away probably like 3 months ago now, right? And the world, hip-hop, the culture, the black community, none of that has been the same since Nipsey Hussle passed away. I mean, insanity, right? I mean, just the way that he passed away and how he was like at Marathon Clothing trying to help some dude out who had just got out of prison. He needed like a new shirt or something because he was about to go to like a family reunion or whatever, and he didn't want to have a raggedy shirt. He also didn't have money, so Nipsey was like, I'll help the dude out. He was meeting with the dude there at Marathon Clothing. They were sitting outside the store chopping it up a little bit, and then tragedy strikes, right? And Eric Holder's dumbass walked up to Nipsey and did what he did, right? And then, a couple days later, Eric Holder got arrested when he tried to check himself into a mental facility, right? But this whole situation is crazy because before Nipsey Hussle passed away, right, he was involved in a lot of things in the community. So he was talking about, buying businesses. He was talking about changing the block. And as a matter of fact, that little cul-de-sac or that strip mall that Nipsey Hussle had Marathon Clothing in, he actually owned the whole strip mall, right? That's the same strip mall that he used to hang out at as a kid. And then he got enough money to buy it. And, when he was a kid, they used to kick him and all his friends out of there. Hey, get out of here, you little kids, or whatever like that. And he was like, all right, one day I'm gonna buy this shit. And it's funny because the owner of that strip mall has a store there, but now he has to pay Nipsey Hussle rent, right? The irony of it all, right? So Nipsey Hussle was proud of himself. I mean, and just not everybody was proud of him too, right? But also, he was a Crip, but that was, his past life. He realized that he made a lot of mistakes, earlier in his life, and then he still used to be in the gang, but Nipsey Hussle said something like he is still a gang member, but he doesn't gang bang because he wants to show that Crippin' ain't all negative, just like Big U. Crippin' ain't all negative, and now I could use my influence and my power and the fact that I've been there and been through a lot to change the world and to help out the next young brother, right? And all that is cool, right? But the LAPD, before Nipsey Hussle passed, they were investigating him for gang ties, right? But this is kind of crazy because the police usually do investigate all rappers, right? I'm sure YG is under constant investigation right now, right? I'm sure The Game is under constant investigation right now, right? Doesn't mean that you really did something or anything like that. It just means they watching your ass with a magnifying glass to make sure that you don't do something, right? Why, right? Because you are rich and you have a lot of people behind you, so you could probably, like, if Nipsey wanted to, or anybody really, come on, if YG wanted to, with his money, power, and influence, he could mobilize a whole army of Bloods and Crips in LA, right? And that would fucking be not a big problem for me. That would be dope for me. It would be dope for all of us in the culture, but it'd be a problem for the police, right? Because if they lose power, then they lose their mind, essentially, right? And that's what's kind of been going on. So though Nipsey Hussle was under constant investigation by the police, just like any other rich gang member would be, they are still investigating Nipsey Hussle even though he has passed, right? And so this is kind of weird, right? Because it's like the LAPD, they don't want to drop it, right? Why are they investigating him under, I guess, criminal ties or gang ties or whatever the case may be? It's kind of unfair to put this man on trial when he has passed away and he died for doing something that was righteous, for doing something that was good, right? But the whole thing is that Eric Holder, Shitty Cuz, or whatever the fuck, right, is also a Crip, and he is saying that he didn't do it, or that the police wanted him to do it, or that Nipsey, provoked him, or whatever the case may be. And since they're investigating the murder of Nipsey Hussle, and they're trying to figure out the motive behind it, they're investigating Nipsey Hussle as being possibly active still in the gang, right? Which is, we all know is not true, but they got to do their investigation, I guess. I don't know, right? But I really wish they would just let this man rest in peace, right? I just really wish they would just leave it alone and let him rest in peace. But they can't leave it alone until they lock up, well, Eric Holder is locked up, but they can't leave it alone until they convict Eric Holder, because, once they say, all right, fine, you get 25 to life, I can't believe you killed Nipsey, lock, key, boop, boop, and then everybody forgets about him, then he can rest in peace. But for now, it's still an open case because they're still trying to, do what they got to do. The prosecution, the DA, the investigators, the lawyers, the judge, the coroner, and all this shit is still going on. So it's crazy that they're investigating Nipsey Hussle as well. But hey, man, this news just came out yesterday, and we'll see what happens. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
Started kicking me, but he was already rapping. You know what I'm saying? I kick it with him. Then I started rapping, and he actually started helping me. You know what I'm saying? Rap. I didn't pay Gunna to write my songs. I never put the songs out. But when I first started to rap, I used to pay him $100. I'm gonna give you $100, write something for me so I can try to learn how to go in and record it. I ain't never recorded the songs and put them out, but that's how I used to practice, try to get it right, cause I just start rapping out of nowhere, just I rap.
Yo, so Lil Baby does an interview with 16 bars, right? And this is fucking crazy, right? This is finding out wrestling is fake, right? This is finding out that, I don't know, you'll never be a mutant. You'll never have Wolverine claws like Logan. You know what I'm saying? This is fucking finding out, I don't know, man, Santa Claus is not real type shit. This is insane, right? And I say that because I like Lil Baby, right? And Gunna, right? Actually, I think Lil Baby is one of the dopest new rappers coming out the South, right? And I like him because he's not all really about all these gimmicks and shit like that. He don't really be dancing around and trying to do stupid shit and beefing with niggas on the internet and fuck you, nigga, I'ma come see you. None of that, right? Lil Baby just lets the music speak for itself, right? And he's nice, right? So the reason why Lil Baby even started rapping was because he was one of those young niggas that was hanging around with all the old niggas, right? And that's how he even got his name, right? So he's a kid hanging around with all the old niggas getting locked up, going to prison. Lil Baby gets locked up and goes to prison too, but only he's literally a Lil Baby, and that's why they call him Lil Baby, right? So he gets out of prison and he's just hanging around with P from Quality Control, who's also the CEO of, the Migos and, Cardi B and all these motherfuckers. And he kind of says to Lil Baby, yo, you was in the streets, you got the chains, you got the money, you got the swag, you got the cars, you hanging around, all set every damn day. Why don't you be a rapper, right? And then Lil Baby kind of didn't even want to be a rapper at first because he was going to take a pay cut. He used to make more money in the streets. For him to, and that was, back then. Now he's making a lot more money, but for him to only get $3,000 for a show and, $1,500 up front and the next $1,500, you got to drive 6 hours to do a show and then get paid $1,500. Lil Baby wasn't even down with that shit, right? So Lil Baby actually, I guess, had to try to get warmed up into rapping, right? So he's saying that back in the day when he first started, not now, but back in the day when he first started, according to him, that he used to pay Gunna $100 to write some rhymes for him, right? And this is fucking crazy because I like Gunna and Lil Baby, but I'm talking lyrically, I'm talking about just technical rapping skill. Lyrically, I think that Lil Baby is a little better than Gunna, right? Which is crazy to me because how the fuck could that be if Gunna was writing Lil Baby shit, right? But also Lil Baby says that, I never really recorded it. I just needed to get started. I need to get warmed up. That's nothing that you would hear. I write my own rhymes, but I did pay Gunna $100 or whatever like that back in the day, right? And I hear you, but if that was the case, right, and you really only had him write some shit for you back in the day that you never really put out, or that you never even really took seriously, and those were just demo tracks or whatever like that, then why did you mention it? Because now you put a doubt in the back of a nigga's head, so when motherfuckers like, yo, damn, Lil Baby murdered that shit, like on that song with Meek Mill and Jeremiah and J Balvin, You Stay, on DJ Khaled's out, You Stay, didn't Lil Baby murder that shit? I was saying, woo! I can't, yo, Meek Mill bodied it, right? J Balvin was singing all in Spanish and all that shit like that. But when Lil Baby comes on, I'm like, oh my God, like Lil Baby really murdered it. He just dropped a hard 16. He was in and out, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I like about Lil Baby, that he don't fucking play around. He'll come through, body your shit, and be gone, you know what I'm saying? No frills type shit, you know what I'm saying? And for me to be like, yo, yeah, hell yeah, Lil Baby murked that, and then for me to have a little doubt in the back of my mind, like, but did he write that though? It's like, oh man, not you too, Lil Baby, not you too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, you know what I'm saying? So, all right. I'm gonna give you a pass. You said it was back in the day. You said you never recorded the shit. So, we gonna let you slide, my nigga, for this one. But please don't say that no more. Damn, nigga. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Alright, yo, this is dope, right? Because I love it when like old stories from like hip hop come like full circle, right? And this is one of them, right? So Snoop, y'all know way back in the day, this is Dr. Dre times, this is Tupac times, and Snoop was signed to Death Row, right? And Snoop was signed to Big Blood Suge Knight, right? And everybody on Death Row was pretty much Bloods, and then they had this one Crip nigga, this one skinny ass Crip nigga named Snoop Dogg, Snoop Doggy Dogg back in the day, right? And the reason why Snoop was able to really even move around these dudes is because Snoop is no hoe, right? Snoop ain't never been no bitch, he ain't never been no punk, he ain't never been no pussy, right? And if you show niggas, like a man is supposed to be, if you show niggas respect, right, then you are bound to get respect back. Of course, there's always gonna be like a dumbass nigga who wants to try to see you like go crazy or act stupid or wild out, but for the most part, if you show a man respect, whether you Blood, Crip, Folk, Cuz, Latin King, whatever the fuck you want to be, wherever you in the room, where you could be in the room with whoever, right? If you show respect, you're gonna get respect, right? And Snoop has always been that type of dude. Plus, he's laid back, he smokes mad weed. He doesn't really pose a threat to anybody because he doesn't act all super aggressive like, I'm here, big bad bully. He's cool. You do you, and I'm gonna do me, but I'm not gonna let you punk me. That's always been Snoop, ever since like day one, right? And this is something cool that a lot of people respect, right? So Snoop was on the record label. Obviously, you know, Suge was doing funny things with the money and with the books or whatever like that. And he wasn't really paying Snoop the money that Snoop deserved, right? So this is back in the day, but Snoop was like, yo, I want to get off of No Limit. I want to get off of off of Death Row. So Suge was like, hell no, nigga. Suge actually was giving death threats to Snoop, would not let him off the record label, nothing like that. But then Master P came out of nowhere, and Master P was going hard with No Limit in the South, in New Orleans. He had Silk the Shocker, he had Mystical, he had a bunch of fucker. I think Mia X was on his record label, and so he decided to sign Snoop to No Limit. So basically he bought Snoop out of his contract is what really happened, right? It was a deal that Suge Knight could not refuse, right? Money-wise, right? And so everything was cool. But here's the thing though, right? Ever since then, Snoop and Suge Knight didn't really speak for a very long time. Then they patched it up probably about maybe 5 years ago, whatever the case may be, because Snoop has always had that respect for Suge Knight, and Suge has always had respect for Snoop, right? But recently, like yesterday, Snoop Dogg did an interview with Crooked I, because Crooked I has his podcast now called Crook's Corner, right? And in the interview that Snoop did with Crooked I, Snoop is basically talking to him about everything that him and Snoop went through, right? And he's saying like, yeah, we had bad times, but I'm not here to highlight that type of shit, right? And he actually gave Suge Knight his props. He said Suge Knight was one of the first CEOs or the first record labels that wanted to own that let the artists own like their own masters and their own music, right? Which is something that Nipsey Hussle preached, you know, all the time, right? And something that Master P followed that same kind of blueprint, right? He was saying that a lot of things in the game wouldn't be that the way they are are right now in this multi-million or multi-billion-dollar hip-hop game without Suge Knight, right? He also says that him and Suge Knight went through the bad of times and the worst of times, and Suge Knight knows exactly how he feels about him, so he could get on a track and talk about the good times that he had with Suge. He get on track and talk about the bad times that he had with Suge, and Suge Knight won't, say, oh my God, what's Snoop talking about or whatever like that, because Suge Knight already loves and respects Snoop and knows what it is, right? And then Snoop also said that he never ever in his life hated Suge Knight at all. He never feared for his life fucking around with Suge Knight, and he knew that everything would be all good in the end because God got him. That's what he said like in an interview like way back in the 90s, right? And this is so dope, right? Because Snoop is now like working on his new album, I Would Like to Thank Me. And basically, he's got a song on there where he is talking about Suge, his relationship with Suge. And I think that, I obviously haven't heard it yet because the fucking album's not out. But I think that he's actually giving Suge like his props and shit like that, right? Which is dope, yo. So we're gonna see when the album comes out. This is dope. Y'all should check out the interview with Crooked Eye. Let me know what y'all think about this and everything else down in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me at Jonny Fastlane. That's Jonny on Instagram. Y'all already know what to do. Peace.